Good Night Stories for Rebel Girls, Part 2. Amina Gurib Fakim, President and Scientist. Mauritius, October 17th, 1959. In an island nation in the Indian Ocean called Mauritius, there lived a girl who wanted to know everything about plants. Her name was Amina. Amina studied biodiversity. She analyzed hundreds of aromatic and medicinal herbs and flowers. She studied their properties and traveled to rural villages to learn from traditional healers how they used plants in their rituals. For Amina, plants were like friends. Her favorite tree was the baobab because it is so useful. It stores water in its trunk. Its leaves can cure infections, and its fruit, called monkey apple, contains more proteins than human milk. Amina thought that a lot could be learned from plants. Plants, like benjoin for example, the leaves of benjoin are different shapes and sizes. Animals won't eat plants they don't recognize, so they tend to leave this plant alone. Quite smart, don't you think? Amina thought of plants as living biological labs full of vital information for humans and every other species. Every time a forest is cut down, we lose an entire laboratory, a lab that we will never, ever recover. Amina Gurib was elected president of Mauritius, and every day she fights hard for all the inhabitants of her country, people, animals, and of course, plants. Amelia Earhart, aviator. United States of America, July 24th, 1897 to July 1937. Once upon a time, a girl called Amelia saved enough money to buy a yellow airplane. She called it the Canary. A few years later, she became the first woman to fly solo across the Atlantic Ocean. It was a dangerous flight. Her tiny plane was tossed around by strong winds and icy storms. She kept herself going with a can of tomato juice, sucked through a straw. After almost 15 hours, she touched down in a field in Northern Ireland, much to the surprise of the cows. "Have you come far?" the farmer asked her. "All the way from America," she laughed. Amelia loved to fly, and she loved to do things no one had ever done before. Her biggest challenge was to be the first woman to fly around the world. She could only take a small bag, as all the space in the plane had to be used for fuel. Her long flight was going well. She was supposed to land on the tiny Howland Island, but never got there. In her last transmission, Amelia said she was flying through clouds and was running low on fuel. Her plane disappeared somewhere over the Pacific Ocean and was never found. Before leaving, she wrote, "I am quite aware of the hazards. I want to do it because I want to do it. Women must try to do the same things that men have tried. If they fail, their failure must be a challenge to others. Adventure is worthwhile in itself." Amelia Earhart. Amna al-Haddad, weightlifter, United Arab Emirates, born October 21st, 1989. Once upon a time, there was a journalist named Amna. Amna was not happy. She was overweight and unfit. One day she said to herself, "You can do much more than this. Just do something. Go for a walk." And that's what she did. She enjoyed her walks so much she wanted to do more. She ran long distances. She sprinted. She started to work out at the gym. When she discovered weightlifting, she knew this was the sport for her. Amna's life changed when the International Weightlifting Federation allowed Muslim women to compete in a unitard, an outfit that covers all skin. She started competing in Europe and America and became an icon for Muslim girls across the world. "I like being strong," says Amna, Being a girl does not mean you can't be as strong as a boy, or even stronger. She liked weightlifting so much that she started training for the Olympic Games in Rio. She thinks everyone should find a sport they like and practice it. Whatever your age, religion, or ethnicity, sport is good for everyone, she says. It creates peace and it unites nations. No matter what the challenges are, never walk away from your dream. The more you persist, the closer you are going to get to your goals. When things get tough, just get tougher. Nobody can tell me what I can and cannot do. Amna al-Haddad. Anne Makasinski, inventor, Canada, born October 3rd, 1997. Once there was a girl who couldn't study when it was dark because her house didn't have electricity. One day her friend Anne came to visit, and together they talked about the issue. Anne was great at building things, and she was especially passionate about transistors, devices that regulate the flow of electric current. "What if I could invent a flashlight that is powered by your body?" Anne asked her friend. "After all, our bodies give off lots of energy in the form of heat." The girls got very excited. "Just think how many people could have electricity if this worked." Anne was just 15 years old, but she already had a lot of experience taking things apart and putting them back together. So she started to work on this mysterious new flashlight. She called it the hollow flashlight because she built it using a hollow aluminum tube. When she presented it to the Google Science Fair, she won first prize. It's the first flashlight that doesn't need batteries, wind, or sun, just body heat. Today, Anne is considered one of the most promising inventors of our time. Her dream is to make hollow flashlights available for free to everyone in the world who can't afford electricity. "I like the idea of using technology to make the world a better place and to keep our environment clean," she always says. If you are alive, you produce some light. Anne Makasinski. And that will conclude our stories. I hope you have a good night, and we'll be back tomorrow for 4 more.